That has to be it. What is up, y'all? Hope y'all having a wonderful day. We are here at 8 Under. Finally made it down here to Las Colinas, Texas to visit Mike Bury. This is his indoor facility. It is incredible. We've got hitting base, TrackMan. We're here to get our swing analyzed, kind of ramping up for the season for 2023. So we're gonna have Mike Bury, the legend, analyze our golf swing.
It's a good time of year to come in, kind of get a little bit of a look at your swing, a little bit of a swing health check. So, what we're going to do today with Zach is we're going to have him hit a few 7-irons. We're going to check out some of the important things, do a little bit of an analysis, see where he's at. Obviously, Zach's a really good player, so there's not going to be any major overhauls, but we just want to make sure that his fundamentals are looking solid for him to kick off the season. Throwing a little drawer in there?
I tried to.
Oh, you did?
I did, yeah. I was like, we're not having the swipey miss right. So what ends up normally happening is when I don't play, I start kicking the club like way out. And so I have to really focus on kind of almost feeling like I stay inside.
Okay.
And so keeping the weight on the inside of my back foot, but then also kind of making sure the chest kind of rotates back.
Yeah.
Because if you get there, you can kind of get stagnant with your chest rotation. So trying to feel like that kind of gets over there without letting the weight get to the outside
Without
of the
swaying.
foot.
Yeah. So you're thinking about getting your chest away from the target or behind the ball without swaying over there and getting your weight all the way over there.
For sure.
Yeah.
What do you think?
I like it for sure. I mean, like if you take your setup, like your weight should, as you're working back, your weight should get to like the inside of that trail foot, right? So by the time you're at the top, I mean, if you see on video, if you ever see your foot doing this, you're kind of in a little bit of trouble. It means that weight is getting, there's probably some kind of sway going on, which is just going to make it harder to shift on the downswing, get into position, right? But, like you were saying, you also don't want your upper body getting this way.
Right.
Right? So it's that feeling of kind of getting your chest behind the ball. I've got a good drill that I'll show you.
Okay. That's the miss right there.
That's just a little open face right there, right?
Yeah. Like the swing felt good.
Yeah.
But that is, my miss typically is kind of a fade right.
All right, so we're going to dive into the swings that Zach just made, and we're going to start with the down the line view. And so, when I'm looking at the swing, I break it down into two parts, one being what the club's doing and then the other what the body's doing. We've got the plane line on here, and then I'm going to put the old Hogan plane, the plated glass that Hogan talked about sitting on top of the shoulders, the idea being we wouldn't want to break the glass or break that blue line on the way down, and that's what a slicer might do. Ideally, you're going to come down in that cone. With this camera, you might get a little underneath the cone, and then you'll strike the ball, and then your club will come up inside of the cone. Setup-wise here, Zach looks good, so let's kind of roll into it here. Now, you were thinking about taking the club a little inside, and it is a little inside right there, not necessarily a bad thing. We're just going to play this through a little bit here. This is, again, first time I've had my eyes on it for a little while. So this particular shot started a little bit right of the target and linked just a little bit right. His path was good, but the face was a little bit open on this one. Okay, we'll come back to the down the line view there in a second, mate. We're going to take a look at the face on view now. And I'm going to put a couple of lines on the screen. These are just going to be reference points, just so we can see how your body's moving. Put a little circle around your head. Your head doesn't have to stay perfectly still. There's ways that it can move, ways we'd prefer for it to not move. This back yellow line here, one thing we would prefer not to see is any of your leg going through that back yellow line during the backswing. The one thing I would say ball position wise here, mate, are you trying to hit a draw or are you trying to hit a fade? if you were standing in the middle of the fairway, it's like a middle pin placement, and straight is not an option. It's either got a draw in there or it's got a fade in there. What's it going to do?
It's going to fade in there.
It's going to fade in there. Okay, got it. So, you know, that ball position is a little forwards in your stance, which is not necessarily a bad thing if you are trying to hit a fade. If you're watching this at home and you're a bit of a slicer, if the ball is too far forwards in the stance, that can make you want to go kind of over the top and cut across the ball. And if you're someone that hits the ball fat or thin, the ball being too far forwards in your stance can create like a contact issue as well. So 7-iron, I like to see it in the middle. Zach, you've got it a little forwards of middle right now, which, again, if you're just trying to hit a little stock fade in there, not necessarily a bad thing. So let's take a look and see. You know, the one thing that I would say here on the backswing, I mean, ideally, for me, I would like to see this right hip or this right leg stay connected to the bacular line, you know, and it's something that we've looked at before in your swing, that sometimes the pivot does get a little bit left.
Yep.
And I don't think you're far off here, but I think that this might be a little bit more of kind of a left side pivot. Given that, you know, it's early in the season, it's looking good. You know, some of the things that you could clean up, you know, just from obviously you're a good player, you know, you can post good low numbers. The hardest thing in golf is consistency and, you know, consistently, you know, posting up those numbers. So the one thing I'm seeing here a little bit on the footwork potentially is that, you know, this left heel, you know, I'd love to kind of see you get a little more pressure in that left heel. That'll help you get those hips a little more open. See how that left heel right through this part of the swing is up and off the ground?
Yep.
Right? And not necessarily, if you look at the tour players, their feet are all over the place. But doesn't necessarily mean that we have to do it, right?
Right.
So, you know, if we could get a little more pressure back in that left heel, clear those hips a little more, I think that'll give you a little more kind of club face control so that you're not having to like work around your body right now. Because when you get a little on the toes, like, you know, this right foot does work up a little bit onto the toes kind of early here. Talking small amounts, you know, for those that are watching at home, it's more important for, you know, if you're struggling with, say, hitting it in the heel. I'm going to come around here for a second. If you are struggling with hitting it in the heel and you do happen to get on your toes, like that right knee kicks into the ball, that's going to crowd your space and it makes it hard to make this fit, right? You're able to make it fit because it's not that much, but you still do have to work around your body, right? So, you know, one of the things I'd like to do here in the first couple of swings, mate, is maybe get just a little bit of pressure into that left heel. See if you can keep that down and get a feeling of those hips rotating.
We did it.
It was pretty good.
I felt slow.
That for you right there is like your stock, you know, from the shots you were hitting today is about 98 miles an hour with 7-iron, which is obviously really fast. That was 95 and it was you thinking about it. I would like to show you a little drill here.
Okay.
Okay. So, you know, if you take your setup and, you know, I'm sure many of those watching have seen the drill where you put this underneath the right foot, you know, for somebody that's getting up this way too much.
Yep.
We're actually going to pop it underneath your left heel. And so your job is going to be to kind of keep pressure on that club the whole time.
Okay.
So that it doesn't move around. Obviously, if you move that foot, there's going to be some twisting, there's going to be some moving going on. And if you did something really crazy, you could even drop it. Oh, that was great.
I felt like Arnie.
Yeah.
The low finish. I felt like I couldn't finish, otherwise it was coming up.
Yeah, it's, you know, it's a weird feeling at first, right? Like it's going to feel really kind of restricted on that left heel.
Yeah.
Because normally our foot does kind of roll a little bit this way.
Yeah.
Right? The toe's going to come off the ground a little bit. But that was really good. That heel was planted.
That felt better.
Nice job. Really good.
And it didn't move.
Yeah.
We got it. We had a little more speed there.
Okay, so obviously left-hand side, mate, that's the swing that you just did. Right-hand side is a few swings ago. So let's take a little bit of a look. We'll probably see a little better from the other angle, but we're keeping an eye on that left heel, On this one here, again, we'll see it better from the other view, but we can see some of that foot moving around, where this one here, it's very stable.
I do feel constricted on the follow through, so I do feel slower, but it does help feel controlled to where the face is at impact.
So let's go without the club now.
Okay.
Kind of same feelings. So take your setup, and you're going to feel that pressure still in that left heel.
Okay.
Your footing is much, much better right now, for sure.
It actually felt really controlled, and immediately as soon as I swung, I knew it was slightly right, because I felt in control and I felt like I knew exactly where that club face was.
That's a good thing.
There's no way my heel came off the ground there.
You know, we'll have to look at the video, but unfortunately the video is going to tell us it did move a little bit. Keep going, just a little more, right there. See how there's a little bit of movement there?
Yeah.
Not terrible, mate. It's better, but it shows you it's hard to feel it.
When the club's underneath, it gives you that reminder, even though I'm thinking about it. When the club's underneath, I can really feel the pressure to keep that club under there. Then whenever I take it away, I'm thinking about the pressure, but it's just easier to not do it.
Yeah, and so for those at home, you know, make sure that if you're doing something like this and you got a drill, like come back to the drill. Don't hit like 3 shots with the drill and then completely abandon it, thinking that it's, you know, done.
Yeah.
It's probably going to keep coming back to it.
I feel like that was pretty good.
It was pretty good, and like we're at 98 before, mate. This was 97.2.
Yep.
So even though it feels slow, it's not, you know, it's kind of that feeling of, you know, you feel like you're restricted on the way through and you feel like you're not going through as fast. And some of them have been a little slower, but like that there is pretty much almost at stock speed.
Club path was good. Face angle pretty good. Attack angle, back in the day, my attack angle with 7-iron would have been like 6 or 7. So we've improved a lot there too through the years. So we're gonna hit a few drivers now, just kind of see some numbers. That is my natural ball flight right there. It's like a pull cut.
Yeah, I mean, we're not going to be really upset with that, right?
No.
Looking at the numbers here real quick, that's a negative 1.4 is a little bit of a fade path. Tack angle was hitting up, 3.5 degrees, almost 120 on the club speed, getting up to almost 180 on the ball speed. Spin was still a little bit high.
That was hammered though, and hit really good. 304 carry. Spins below 3,000 there. That was a little pull draw.
Yeah, and it was just the contact got you a little bit on that one where you hit it on a little bit on the toe.
That was the fastest one yet, and still not 180. A little cut. That has to be it. No way. Oh, I hit that so good too.
That is hammered.
And that was right down the line.
Straight down the middle.
That was like, couldn't be more center on the face. That has to be it. Oh,
there it is.
we got it. Little baby draw. Let's go. Spin rate was good. Carry was good. I knew we had it in us.
You know, the goal today was just to have a bit of a look and see if there's anything big that's outstanding, and really there wasn't much big, right? We looked a little bit at the footwork, and I think more than anything, there's some good stuff for those at home watching. You know, pay attention to that footwork, make sure that you're not kind of getting way up on those toes, because that can create some problems. For you, Zach, you know, a little bit of that, but honestly, outside of that, I think the swing's looking good, and you're in a good place for the start of the season.
I appreciate it.
My pleasure.
If y'all are in the Dallas area, come check out 8 Under. This place is absolutely incredible. Come hit on track, man. Place them close to the pin. play some epic golf courses all around the world. As for me, Mike Bury, 8 under. We'll see you when we see ya. Peace.